Hello, hello. Good evening. Happy Monday. How are you guys today? How was your weekend? Let me know in the chats. How did you spend your weekend? I was I had a very busy weekend this weekend. Actually, I had to go shopping, get a lot of things done because I've been holding into doing so many things because of taxes, the tax deadline. If you were not aware, there was a tax deadline on Friday, which is September 15. So hopefully, if you had tax payment due, hopefully you did it by Saturday, not Saturday, September 15, last Friday. Now we are heading into a new deadline. Before we get into the topic, so I have a great topic for you today. Before we head into that, I want to remind you, if you did not do your taxes, your personal taxes, or for your LLC, or for your C Corp back on April 15, it is due, and you did an extension, it is due now on October 16 because the 15 would be a Sunday. Usually it's the 15. So now, if you need help, you can definitely book a call with me, and here the link on the screen. If you are not on Instagram, if you are on Instagram, you can go to the link in the bio. I will put the link also when I save this video. So it is nourasbooks.com/contact. You can book a call and I will be happy to help you. Now, let's get into the topic. I don't want to take so much for your time. Oh no, if you are a nonprofit and it did an extension, it's due on actually November 15th. So yeah, so like 3 deadlines, if one each month. So the next one will be October 16th. Now let's get into the topic. Are you excited? Are you excited? I am excited to talk to you about it. Now, I was reading an article about reasons of failure for nonprofits. And of course, this article I was reading, it was not a statistic or anything. This is someone putting their opinion there, and I agree in a different point of view. So the article says failure to adapt is one of the organization's failure to adapt, and also there is a problem with leadership. So using that, let me get you into one very important cause of failure I have seen. From what I have seen, I'm not going off any statistic or anything. From what I have seen over the last 20 plus years working with nonprofits, one of the most important reasons of failure is you and your board members. Sorry, please accept my hard love. So, people who love you will tell you the truth no matter what. I'll tell you the truth because I want you to succeed. I know that you have a great heart. That's why you started your nonprofit. Otherwise, you wouldn't care and you wouldn't start a nonprofit. Because of that, I want you to succeed. I don't want you to just keep trying, and keep hearing all reasons that why you are not getting ahead, why you are not getting funded, why you have to cancel programs, and hearing all of these reasons, while the main reason could be simply you and the board member you elected. So here's what happens. And if you're hearing me now or in the reply, feel free to put your questions. Feel free to put your input. I would love to hear from you and what you think. And if you put anything now while I am live, I'll be happy to discuss with you. Otherwise, if it's on the replay, no worries. We can talk about it. Like I can actually discuss in the next video or reply on your comment. Just it depends on what you have in mind. So let's dive in. So usually what happens, you guys get inspired somehow and really want to change something is not going right. So you decide you want to start a nonprofit. Let's start a nonprofit. And you go ahead, find out how to start it. And then, of course, first you have no budget because you're just starting now. So you have no budget. So you come across there's two ways to start, like to apply for the 501c3. It's form 1023 EZ and form 1023, the long form. And a lot of people advise you to take the shortcut, the shorter form, the less investment requirement, and you go for 1023 EZ, and that is the worst decision and you could ever do. It's just the worst decision. I'm sorry, it is the worst decision because it just limits you. And now you are inspired now. You are inspired now. 3 years later, the flame will go away, especially if you were not successful the way you wanted to be. So that's one of the reasons why you fail. But we're not discussing this today. What I want you to understand is when you start, you want to have the end on mind. And what I mean with the end, it doesn't mean when you dissolve your nonprofit. I mean when you want to do the programs, when you want to do the decision, when you want to get funded, when you want to actually invest on something. You want to have all of these in your mind. That's why you cannot really start your nonprofit without having a business plan. And yes, a business plan. It doesn't have to be complicated. But there should be a business plan, and the golden piece is your budget. You have to have a budget. What I mean with the budget, not money in your wallet. It doesn't matter. I don't care if you have money in your wallet or not. What I mean with the budget is the budget is where it says it's like on Excel, on paper, on whatever form, saying this is how much we are making. This is how much we are spending on marketing. This is how much we're spending in accounting. This is how much we're spending on staff. This is how much we need to actually get one of our program done. This is what we need exactly. Why do we need that? First, business plan give you a roadmap. It gives you a roadmap. Where are you heading? So it's easier for you to plan. The budget is very important because usually what happened, like I said, you go want to register. In order to be approved to be 501c3, and if you are not familiar with this term, which I hope you are because you are a nonprofit, if you are not familiar with this term, it is actually getting you tax exempt. So if I donate to you, I get tax deduction because you are a tax exempt organization. So in order to be approved for that in a federal level, you have to have 3 board members. That means you alone cannot really get an organization tax exempt within a federal level. So you need at least 2 more people. I'm not talking about state level because each state is different and we cannot really talk about like all 50 states. We're talking only about federal now. So you need 2 additional board members, including you. So that's total of 3 in order to be tax exempt. So you go randomly ask friends and family, would you help me because I'm starting this organization? Would you become a board member? And people who want to support you, they come and support you and say, yeah, you can put your name, my name. Yeah, I can help you. And then you guys get disappointed because you say, okay, my board members are not involved. My board member is not donating. My board member did not agree to this. My board member did not agree to that. And it's a problem. Now you cannot move forward with your organization. But you forget that you did not really select your board member the right way. You just you were very passionate, you wanted to help, and they wanted to support you. It's all coming from good, right? Nothing here, there's no bad intention. It's all coming from good, and everyone wants to support, which is great. But when you're coming to actually establishing an organization, You need to run it as a business, and you need to have the foundations done. You cannot really randomly select board members and then say, oh, okay, they're not donating, they're blocking my decision, they overruling my decision, or whatever. You cannot say that. So in order to avoid that, what would you do? In order to avoid that, first you need a business plan. You need someone to help you, to hold your hand into actually starting your organization. That's the best way to do it. But if you do not have someone who has experience with that, then no, you need to at least, I'm going to tell you here what you need. You're going to need first, you have your bylaws, set your bylaws alone without having any board member before you even go and register. Work on your bylaws. Work on your bylaws, set all the rules, set everything you need to see, and then, of course, have a business plan, see what you need, and it doesn't have to be complicated. You just have to see where you are, what you want to achieve, and everything. How are you going to do marketing? How are you going to learn about how you manage your nonprofit? Everything else. And then you want to set a budget. And the budget, this is an annual thing. So you set it in the beginning and you set it every single year. And you can actually modify it in a quarterly basis, in a monthly basis, whatever you need to modify it. But you should have a master budget each year. You should have a financial policy. This is very important because when you need to invest in something, you don't need to go every time to your board, say, hey, did you approve? And most of the time they will not approve. Let me tell you why. Because they're not in your shoes. They don't know what you're doing. They don't know what you're suffering. They don't know what's going on. They don't know anything. They are just there to support you, and they think they're doing you a favor with blocking everything. Spending money for them is a red flag. No, you cannot do that. And then you still stuck. I know organizations who knows how to deal with this, and with less than 10 years, they have over $30 million in revenue and funding. That's only from individual donations. I know some other organization has 10 million. I know other organization after 10 years, 20 years, they have zero funding. Why? Because the organization under the control of the board member who is not really in the right place. If you are a board member, doesn't mean that your job is blocking decisions or your job is actually just saying yes or no. It's not prestige. It's not any of that. It's not any of that. If you're a board member, you're there to support. So when you select your board member, you need some people who understand how nonprofit, how successful nonprofits run. Because let me tell you, there's like very few successful nonprofit there. But it starts from you. You set the rules. Before you even select your board members, you have to have the bylaws, the business plan, the policies, especially the financial policies. And in your budget, you should have a line for everything, a line for program, a line for operation, a line for marketing because it's important, a line for development, which is fundraising and everything, a line for education because if you want to stay relevant, if you want to be always adaptable for everything, adapting changes, learning how nonprofit runs, learning how you run your organization, you need to have education. So even business owners, they need to have education all the time. Let me tell you, I am a business owner and I learn in a daily basis. If I don't learn on a daily basis, I won't be able to deliver to you what I need to deliver, what really could benefit you. I couldn't run my business in a right way, on a successful way, if I do not learn in a daily basis. Learning is very important. And for your nonprofit, same thing. You need to be learning. So you have to have a budget line for that. You have to have that. And then you have to have for accounting. You have to have for what else? Anything that you need. Like you need to really put down everything that you're going to need. You're going to have a line for everything. I know you might ask, I don't know how much I'm going to get. So how do I know how much would I put for every item? I'll tell you here. Yeah. Actually, you know how budgets are done? You start with sales before you even make a sale, but you have a target, right? Ask any salesperson, they tell you they have a target they have to meet. It's no difference from you having a target have to meet in your donations. Of course, you have to do it strategic way. Sometimes you have to invest a little bit in order to get to know how and when and where to do that. If you do not have a budget, it's going to be very difficult for you to grow. You want to have that budget, get that budget approved from the board members when you select them. So after you put all these stuff, you're gonna actually select board members. You're gonna see if they agree with what you have, if you have the same vision, if you have the same way to do things. And then this is how you select them, people who already agrees for what you have in place. Then this budget has to be in a, like I said, an annual basis. So for every year you have this budget and then it's approved from board members. So when you're running your organization, you don't have to go back to the board member for every single decision you want to make. There's a financial policy in place, so you don't have to go back for the board members for every single decision you want to make. You might say there's something coming up that is not like line in the budget, but it's really important. Then maybe you have that in your financial policy. It should say like, if for the amount over so on, let's say $5,000, which is not aligned in the budget, in the approved budget, this is the procedure. So maybe you go to treasurer to approve, or maybe to the president to approve. You don't have to go to each and every board member, because these board members are individuals who have businesses, families, and maybe they're employees themselves. They have a life, they have a busy life. So you don't want to like struggle and delay every single decision until they get together. You want to really make sure your organization running fast. You don't have to rely on every person, like to get to, for all these board members, 3, 4, 5, or how many you have, to all meet and approve. You don't have to do that. You need to have something in place saying, okay, this is what you need to do if anything comes up. Sometimes you might, if it's not in the policy, if it's not in the vision, it's not in the budget, and it's not in the procedure, it's over that limit, and then you have to do an emergency, maybe board members and board meetings to do that. This is another thing. But in general, you want to minimize that as much as possible. Now, I'm not saying board members shouldn't meet. Of course, you should meet. You can meet on a monthly, quarterly, or annual basis. It depends. Usually, I don't recommend meetings for go longer than a quarterly. Like at least you want to do a quarterly board meetings. Sorry, guys. All right. All right. So for those board meetings, what you want to do is reporting. You report what happened, you discuss what happened, they ask you questions, so they just aware of what you're doing, and then you ask for any support that you need from the board member. They are there to facilitate things for you, to support you to go get your mission done, not to block you from doing anything you are trying to do, right? So make sure this is how you utilize board meetings. Now, if there is something special, like it's not anywhere, you can seek a voting. You can get voting for that, but you need to actually avoid that situation as much as possible. Minimize it by how you structure your organization, how you do the budgets every year, how you actually have the policies in place, so that your bylaws, how to select the board members in place. You want to make sure you are aware of everything. Otherwise, you're not going to have a successful nonprofit, unfortunately, no matter how much you try. Because let me tell you, for a period of time, I lived away from my kids. I lived in Houston, Texas for like a couple of years. I was going back and forth between Chicago and Texas. And my kids, young adults, they lived in my home in Chicago. And for uh, the first year I was making decisions. Then the second year, I'm not living there anymore. So I was coming to Chicago only a week or 2 weeks every few months. So I am not qualified to make decisions in my own home. I don't know what they are suffering from. I don't know what's going on exactly. They are living there. They know like what their needs are. They know what they're suffering from. So last year, like whenever they ask me some question, what do you think we should do? I tell them, you make the decision. I really don't know. I don't live there. I acted as a board member because I am not there. Same thing, the board member is not there. You are running your organization. You know what you need. They don't know. So I did not make the decision for my kids. They made the decision. If they need support, financial support, I support them, but I give them the power to make that decision because they now live in the house alone. So they know their needs most. They know what they need. They know what can support them. They know what exactly they need. Same thing with your board members. So you want to make sure you structure your organization correctly in order to see growth, in order to be 10 years from now, 20 years from now, you have those $1 million in funding. Otherwise, let me tell you, if you don't do that, you will stay where you are if you still have an organization 10, 20 years from now. I love you. I don't want you to be stuck there. Really, please move forward. Don't keep yourself stuck just because of wrong management, wrong practice of board members. Get organized, get that budget done, get that financial policy done, get your operations straight in order to see success, in order to really see the impact you want to start your organization to see. Now, if you need help, if you need any support, I would love to talk to you. You can book a call with me at nourasbooks.com/contact. Book a call and we would love to talk to you. I have several programs to help you. But when we talk, I can suggest whatever works best for you. I have my free masterclass. We have a training coming up, me and Brittnei, on October. It's going to be virtual. There's like, I have my coaching program. We have so many things that to support you. You can book a call, and when we talk, I'll see what you need, where you are at, and I will let you know what works best for you, and you decide what you want to join. And happy rest of Monday. What? Happy evening. I'll see you tomorrow, and I wish you great evening. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.